Hello everybody. Well, this is rather an unusual video and not one that I ever thought I would make. As you can see, I'm in the emergency hospital room that has been set up here at Georgia. I'm on the ground floor with the staff close by and the villa in which I live opposite, and I'm being looked after very well. But I felt I wanted to make a video primarily for this reason, because I had so many really kind, good, heartfelt messages from all over the world, and that really did mean a lot to me. But one that struck a chord was when someone said they felt as if they had become part of the family of Georgia. Now, if you do feel that way, that's wonderful. And if you're part of the family, then I think I have a duty to let you know what's really going on here. So having said that, just let me deal with a couple of things. First of all, the thank yous. And the first thank you has to go to the most amazing surgeon I have ever met. When I fell last Wednesday and was in considerable, severe, awful pain and was taken to the International Clinic, within half an hour of being there, I met the surgeon who had repaired the finger on my right hand some 3 years ago. I was so pleased to see him, and he very happily agreed to do the repair on my hip, and that made me feel so much better. I can't sing his praises highly enough. He knows I'm not the easiest patient. I'm not very good with pain, and once the operation's been done, I just want to get home, and I think he probably feels I'm better at home than making a nuisance of myself there. But he operated quickly and well. He wanted me to have an epidural injection because the recovery would be safer and the recovery would be quicker than a general anaesthetic, and I may avoid some of the nasties that go with hip surgery. And once I was in theatre and the anaesthetist tried to give me the epidural, I had to bend over to get it into an artery in my back, and the arteries in my spine were very narrow, so I really was screaming. And if it hadn't have been for this particular doctor, I don't think they'd have made it. He was able to hold my head, to reassure me, and eventually they got this needle in and the surgery was then performed, and I think he did an excellent job. I had to stay in for 48 hours so I could have my intravenous antibiotics, and then he agreed that I could come home, knowing that we had the facilities here, that we could arrange for the care. So of course my first thanks must go to him. Secondly, I must also thank the men who were here when I fell, because the men who work here were able to carry me from a very uncomfortable position on a hard cement floor up into my office, and they carried me very much as I hoped they'd have carried a donkey, but they know the anatomy well and were able to do it without the bones in the hip shifting, which made surgery so much better later. Everyone was wonderful. We had visitors at the time, and Kimberly, who was here, had been a nurse. She, to my horror, said she thought I'd broken my hip, and she turned out to be right. And anyway, I'm now home. It'll be 4 months for the bones to heal, but I'm having to get up on a walking frame and exercise every day to give strength to the bones. And I have a huge titanium plate and nuts and joints into my hip and the top of my leg. So it's not very glamorous. I don't feel very glamorous, I don't look very glamorous, but I'm very pleased to say that the refuge is running as normal. The boys are having to give me more time than they would normally do, but as you would expect, they have been absolutely wonderful. I understand that all the animals are well, but I can't get down to see them, and I understand that there is a young mayor coming in this afternoon. And for that, I'm very grateful to other associations around Morocco who cooperate very well with us. They really do. And I think they recognise that we can do some of the more difficult, complicated work here, particularly with fractures, and I'm living proof of that, I suppose. So that mayor is coming this afternoon. I think something that touched me greatly was, in addition to messages we had from supporters around the world, and we did put out on social media that I had had an accident and was ill, because we thought that would lessen the load a little. You know, perhaps visitors would be a little more wary about coming or whatever. But what actually happened is I got these amazing messages from people who do support us, but what particularly touched me were the lovely, lovely messages from Moroccans and from other Moroccan associations who wished me well and everything that goes with good Islam here. So life will go on. I won't be as prominent as I have been in the past, maybe, but I will be around, and I will be stage managing relief operations. I was hoping to come to the States and to England this year to do the fundraising for our proposed new crematorium, so I'll have to find alternative ways of doing that. But as far as I'm concerned, the important thing is to keep Georgia running. We have responsibility, as you know, for well over 100 equines. Many of them require considerable medical attention, and we just have to keep it going. We have to keep the funds coming in, and I have to find a way of communicating with you so that you continue to feel part of our community here at Georgia. So thank you for your good wishes, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye now.